Comrade Mordecai, Mother Russia and Father Cuba need you.
But I've never been to Cuba or Russia.
The revolution is calling.
Then Viva la Revolution and Viva Castro! Greetings, comrades. I'm Mortika Lacrosse of the Fallen, and this is New Revolution TV. Revolutionize your life. And this title of this video is Viva Castro. And as you all know, recently Fidel Castro has died. And there's a lot of misconception out there about Comrade Castro from the liberal media and the conservative media. So I've decided to make this video, which will most likely trigger a lot of conservatives and liberals, because Castro was supposedly an evil dictator, and they'll refuse to accept the facts because they rather believe their propaganda-filled capitalist media than the actual truth. See, the thing is that Cuba under Fidel Castro's command had universal literacy, one teacher for every 10 Cubans, compared to one for every 20 students here in the United States. Not only that, they have under Comrade Castro's command, they had excellent free health care. They attracted patients even from the United States of America, where we've been told by the liberal conservative media that capitalist healthcare is the best and that people supposedly come to America for our so-called great healthcare system. Not only that, but they generate $40 million in revenue under Comrade Fidel Castro's regime. Not only that, but there's very little serious crime in Cuba. Very little. It's basically zilch. There's few neon signs and billboards and no McDonald's. And we see how well McDonald's does for America. Not that well at all, you know? The thing is from 1995 to 1997, the GDP, the gross domestic product of Cuba, was growing at a rate of 3 to 6% higher than that of the US. Not only that, before Castro, the annual income of a person was only $91 a year. In 1999, under Comrade Castro, the average annual was $1,700. You have to remember, the money is different because the things didn't cost that much in their economic system that it would here in the US. So $1,700 would be basically compared to the profit of the middle class or upper class here in the United States. Pretty well off. Not only that, that's 18 times the amount before Castro. The government, people are like, is strict and controls the media there, though, in Cuba. But the thing is, the people there are the government. So the people there decide that they want it strict and regulated as such. See, all measures are discussed with the people, which it is the workers, the students, and the National Assembly, which is basically anyone that actually decides to show up, if you will. Not only that, Cuba is ranked the third lowest level when it comes to poverty out of 85 countries. It's ranked the third lowest compared to, the US, which we probably are number one in poverty out of 85 countries. Before communism, if you will, 44% Cubans never went to school and 1/5 were literate. Under Castro, 95.7% are literate. That's a huge increase of people that are literate. Cuba is the third in the world for safe drinking water, while the United States, we're probably number one for the most unsafe drinking water, thanks to Monsanto's and big, huge, multi-million-dollar oil corporations that pump oil into our water and all kinds of other unsafe shit. Not only that, Cuba is the second highest for great sewage disposal. Unlike America, where we just dump the sewage into our water supply, Cuba actually makes sure their water, doesn't get tainted with that kind of shit. Cuba is also the third highest daily protein consumption. They have no protein consumption problem there. Problem solved. Unlike Americans, where we have a huge protein deficiency within Americans. Cuba has the most physicians per capita in the world, and these are quality doctors, not like fucked up ones that will charge you $3,000 for a surgery on your leg or $3,000 for an ambulance ride. Interesting. Only 0.03% of people in Cuba have AIDS, while 61% of Americans have AIDS. But, Castro is a big, bad, evil dude and did horrible things to people. And the thing is these so-called people that he locked up, these political prisoners, were people that tried to overthrow Cuba's government for the regime that was before Castro, who was actually a dictator. So the world should actually be mourning the death of Fidel Castro and not celebrating it. But that's typical capitalist business as usual. Until next time, I'm Mortika Lacrosse, comrades. Stay vigilant. Viva screwed up on that one. Viva la revolution!